If you are tech savvy and you expect a great range from your EV, Ola S1 Pro will feel like a dream EV to get until you experience the bike and until you get into the details of the bike. Simple question. Will I buy an Ola S1 Pro for myself? I need to think about it. You see, right from the start, the S1 Pro Ola will give you a feel of a premium vehicle. Showroom itself looks very premium and classy that you can't ignore the sight of it. Now, one of the cool things about Ola S1 Pro is its design. It looks very clean, modern and stunning. Structure of the bike itself seems very solid from afar, but once you get closer to feel it, it doesn't feel as premium as you thought. The structure could have been a bit better in quality. Now, having said that, the front look of the bike is very unique and attention grabbing, and the bike comes in a lot of colors, a lot of bright colors. I am sure that you would very easily notice the presence of an S1 Pro Ola on a busy road. And once you notice the bike, then I am sure that you would definitely spend a few good seconds to enjoy the sight of it, enjoy the amazing look that the bike gives. But let me tell you, in certain way that's a honey trap. So the bike has this very modern looking headlamp that gives a decently bright light for a city use. Purely in terms of looks and design, if you compare S1 Pro Ola with rest of the EVs in India right now, this S1 Pro Ola looks very unique and stunning, and you instantly have an urge to ride the bike. And once you do, the first thing you would love about S1 Pro is that seats are really broad, they are comfortable and very cushy. Combined with the really good suspension, you'd fly through the city roads very comfortably. Talking about the seats you get with an EV present in India right now, S1 Pro Ola and the Bajaj Chetak offer extremely amazing and broad cushy seats. If you are someone whose primary parameter is to have broad cushy seats, now you have the choice. Under these broad seats, you get extremely spacious boot. You can fit 2 half-size helmets pretty comfortably. In fact, if you are a single person driving the bike, you can have a lot more space for a lot of things to be stored in the boot. Along with this boot, you get some more space in the front as well, and you can plug in your smartphone in this and charge your phone while you ride. Now this thing you see here is a speaker. So the S1 Pro Ola, it makes very minimal noise, close to being silent. If you are someone who really miss the exhaust sound from your petrol bike, you can customize the sound that these speakers will play. And these speakers are calibrated that if you raise the speed, it increases the volume. If you slow it down, the volume also decreases. It won't take you long to realize that it is just a sound and you won't get the feel of it because the quality of the speakers is also decent. It's not so close to the realistic exhaust sound that you get from a petrol bike. You will realize that it is a fake one. So now that we have speakers on S1 Pro Ola, they have come up with this crazy idea to allow to play songs on the speakers. I am sure that you would have seen a lot of videos circulating on the internet where a group of friends riding for a long ride on their S1 Pro Ola play songs on the speakers, have a campfire setup and have a lot of fun. Sounds really exciting and amazing, right, about how far each of these features can go. But I really wonder, would you really use the speakers on a regular day? Because I am sure that 95 to 98% of your time you use your S1 Pro Ola for a city use, for a regular normal use. Would you really depend on the speakers? I am really wondering about it. In case you guys use these speakers frequently, please do let us know in the comments below. To be honest, once I got to know that you can play songs on the speakers, my first reaction was, why? Who asked for it? I mean, it sounds cool to have speakers on your bike and you can play songs on it, but would you really require it? Is the question. Also, speakers of the bike are very loud. I mean, you can't even reduce the volume to 0% if you don't want to play sounds. I mean, every single function on the bike, for example, you unlock the boot, you lock your bike, unlock your bike, indicators, reverse gear, every single function have some sound associated with it and you can't reduce the sound of it. I mean, the minimum volume you can have on the speakers is 20% and even that is very loud. I don't want to be making these sounds every time I take out the bike for a ride. I mean, every time I park a bike, I lock it, unlock it, or take a reverse gear. I don't want to be making these sounds on road. So I'm just so curious to know your thoughts about these speakers making sounds for every single function you do on the bike. Do you think that makes sense? And do you use it? Please do let us know in the comments below. Now, as much as you love the huge boot space that you get under your seat, on a practical day you would definitely feel the need to have some space near your legroom. Now for the S1 Pro Ola, it has this battery pack that goes under your legroom and that creates this bump right where you put your legs while driving. This can create a trouble if you are someone who wants to have that extra space near your legroom to carry some items. Also, the hanger that is present in front of the driving seat, it felt a bit low in height. I am not sure how practically useful will that be, If you guys use that hanger really, please do let us know in the comments below. Talking about the performance, it is amazing. It is amazing. The bike comes in 4 driving modes: Eco, Normal, Sports and the Hyper mode. Now in Eco mode, you can ride up to maximum speed of 50 kmph, but you get a range of close to 130 kilometers. If you ride in the Hyper mode, the maximum speed you can ride at is close to 115 kilometers per hour, but you get a range of 85 to 90 kilometers. Also, it depends upon the way you drive, the acceleration that you give, the consistent high speed that you drive at. If you want to know more about these factors, we have made a full video on that right over here. Speaking about the performance of this bike, S1 Pro Ola, it's amazing. To be honest, there is no other EV present in India right now that gives this high performance and this high top speed. I am sure you definitely fall in love simply with the performance of the bike. The acceleration in particular, it's amazing. I am sure within few seconds of driving the bike, you start to feel the power of this motor. However, the braking of the bike, it felt very strong but extremely sensitive. Now what that means is, every time I place my hand right on the brakes, my slightest pressure of the fingers was also sufficient to stop the bike instantly. Yes, the brakes are strong, and I am glad that they are strong, because if you drive faster, you need the brakes to be stronger to stop you in case of any emergency. But having these sensitive brakes can also create a problem on a traffic road. That's not a huge problem. It would take some learning curve for you to get used to that sensitivity, but for starters, that can be a problem for at least few months until you get used to this. Now, in spite of this high performance that the bike is capable of, you won't get the confidence of riding it at high speeds consistently. At low speeds, the control of the bike is amazing, you would love it, but at high speeds, the confidence that gets a bit low. But apart from that, at low speeds, you would absolutely love the bike. Now, one of the important things that I don't like about S1 Pro Ola is the handle. There are a lot of buttons on both the sides, and these are not the traditional switches that we are used to. These are the rubbery clickery buttons which will not give a sense of confidence and assurance that you have clicked it. Fundamentally, the reason that you get the plastic switches on the bikes is to make sure that you get the sense of assurance and confidence that you have clicked it, and there is no need for you to look at the dashboard that you have clicked it. But with these switches, you would need to look at the dashboard because you won't have the sense of confidence and assurance that you have pressed it. That's a bit of troublesome on a practical day, which will take some time for you to get used to. To the left of the handle, you have the switches that are very well known: the indicators, the headlamp, and one for the honk. Along with that, there is this one more switch which has 2 functions: cruise control and the reverse gear. So basically what this means is that if you are riding on a road and once you have crossed a threshold speed, for this bike I think it's around 20 or 25 kmph, once you cross that, if you press on this cruise control, speed of the bike will stay locked at whatever speed you are driving at, and it maintains that consistent speed. That's called cruise control. And now once you want to take control of the bike, so simple, you have to press the brakes, or you can decrease the speed of the accelerator, or you can increase the speed of it. It stops the cruise control. Now, the same button if the bike is parked, and if you press it, it functions as a reverse gear. To the right of the handle, you have one button for the power and one button to switch between the driving modes, and 2 buttons to increase and decrease the volume of songs that you are playing on the speakers if you are someone who plays songs on speakers while you ride S1 Pro Ola, and there is one for the Bluetooth song switching. So now do you see where I am coming from? There are a lot of functions and features you can access through this handle itself, but the confidence that you get from each of the click is not that good. The quality of the switch itself is not that good. It won't take you long to have the feeling that the switches could have been a bit better. So now this bike comes with this huge beautiful dashboard. Probably this is one of the important part of the bike itself, simply because the bike is so much dependent on the software and the dashboard, starting with unlocking the bike itself. Now you don't get the traditional key with S1 Pro Ola. You can rather lock and unlock your bike in a similar way that you do for your smartphone, a passcode. Instead, a traditional key to lock a bike or a car-like key that you get with Chetak could have been a much simpler way and a better way I felt, because remembering the passcode and typing those 6 digits each time you want to unlock your bike can get a bit complicated, and it won't take long for you to start to hate it. Also, you can lock and unlock your bike with your smartphone. Now, once you have unlocked the bike successfully, you have this gorgeous dashboard. This is probably the best dashboard that you can find in EVs present in India right now, with a few issues. You have really good graphics, a ton of features, and you can access the boot space also from the dashboard. Save documents in your dashboard. You can customize your dashboard, and the speedometer graphics are really good. And you can change the display settings, the music settings, and the list goes on and on. And you can get all kinds of information and the statistics about your rides. It also estimates the range that you can get in each of your driving modes. Now, in spite of all these features on the dashboard, the range left on your bike that is shown is not reliable. It is always overestimated. I mean, you can just browse online and you can find a lot of instances from the customers that they say that the range left on the bike has dropped all the way from 10 kilometers to 0, from 30 to 15 and 18. So this is a question of reliability of the range left on your dashboard. I personally won't recommend you to let your bike charge drop below 20%. That way you won't get into trouble in case of your estimate of range is wrong. But apart from that, the most important and beautiful part of the dashboard is the navigation. Now this is by far the best navigation that you can find on an EV. Extremely smooth, responsive, and it conveys the live traffic information. In fact, the touch response on this entire dashboard itself is really good. I really love the touch experience and the fact that the dashboard never lags. Sunlight readability in particular is fantastic. The screen gets really bright. But one drawback that I felt of the dashboard is that the information that you can find on the dashboard is a bit too much, I felt. I mean, you would need some time to get used to, but the usage is not simple and clean. It basically has a load of information and features presented on the dashboard. It feels kind of overwhelming. I would rather have preferred a simple looking interface and dashboard. Now, the most comfortable seat on an S1 Pro Ola is definitely the pillion seat, because there is almost no vibrations in the bike, no motor sound, very comfortable cushy seats and really good suspension. However, there is one design problem with the pillion seat. The foot pegs you get for a pillion rider sits really nicely and sweetly inside the design of the bike, but this makes it practically tough to access. Now, because the structure of the body is a bit curved, if the foot pegs are not out, once you sit on the bike, you have to search for the foot pegs where they are to find it and to pull it out. But apart from that, the ride quality of the bike is really impressive and you would love the pillion ride on this. Now, charging of this bike in your home will take around 6 to 7 hours, while the hypercharger, which is present at not many places now, but they are expanding, that will provide for 15 minutes. They claim that they will provide a charge of around 70 kilometers, which is not a true range again. True range of that will be probably for 15 minutes you might get 45 or 50 kilometers of true range. Now, it's time for the ultimate question. Should you buy S1 Pro Ola? You see, fundamentally speaking, what is expected out of an EV? A good range and a good performance. And Ola S1 Pro, bang on. It nails it. It gives an amazing range of close to 130 kilometers and a great performance. Now, once these fundamentals are in place, rest of the features of the bike, they are supposed to enhance the bike value and it should make the bike look premium. But for Ola S1 Pro, I don't see that happening. I mean, the features are there, they are very interesting features, but the quality they provide is not that much, and hence they are not enhancing the bike value as much as they should. The bike is completely software dependent. Any small bug in your dashboard, done, you can't ride the bike, and any slightest issue that you get with the software update, it can bring a new bug and you don't expect that issue to happen until you face it. And I'm sure that you would have seen a lot of cases on news speaking about the software issues of the bike, that the reverse gear is not functioning, that the acceleration is not proper and the braking is not proper, whatnot. Now, what I'm saying is, it's not that the software of S1 Pro Ola is buggy, it's not that, but let's assume that you get one bug once in 3 months or 4 months. That's extremely rare, right? But what if that bug happens on a very important day? What if that happens when you're stuck in rain, in traffic? Now, what if the dashboard doesn't work? And what if the touch sensitivity of the dashboard has gone wrong and it is not taking your passcode? Anything can happen with the software. And on top of this, there are overloaded features of the bike. I mean, there is no feature that I can point out that has the best quality and reliability that you can rely on it every single day. I mean, you get excellent range, but you can't trust the range left that is shown on your dashboard. And you get the speakers on the bike, but the quality of the speakers are not that great, and you can't completely mute your bike and people around should listen every single function that you make on the bike. And you get a very good dashboard, and yet the features that is shown on the dashboard, the information that is present on the dashboard is clumsy and too much. And you have a really good sitting posture and you have a great driving experience, but the handle comes with a lot of cluttered buttons, the rubbery buttons, which won't present you a sense of confidence and assurance that you have pressed it. You have a really good design, but the structure of the bike and the solid rigidity of the bike is not that great. Keeping things simple, now I am not saying that you would regret that you bought S1 Pro Ola, but I'm saying that if you buy it, there will be a few compromises to be made. If you're someone who expects only a great range and performance from a bike, S1 Pro Ola will be your dream bike and you can very confidently purchase the bike. But once you do that, and once your preference is the range and performance and not rest of the features, you will probably start to ask, why did Ola include all these features in the bike which are not fundamental and which are not required? And if you're someone who purchases the bike for all those features and not specifically for the range and performance, you'll probably start to ask, why not it's highly qualitative and why not it's reliable all the time? What do you guys think about it? Please do let us know in the comments below.